Hey guys, I thought it had been quite a while since I did my last TMD, TMJ update video, or did my initial one, so I thought I might do a second one. I'd been thinking about it for a while, and I guess there's been a few sort of things that I guess have happened since my last update, and I thought, it would be worthwhile, especially for Australians, because I know that it's quite not necessarily recognised. Well, I guess, yeah, recognised in the States, at least. I'm not sure of any other countries that it's quite as recognised. I guess that's the right word. Although, in the sense of the word recognised, not so much by insurance companies and things like that, but people realise that it's an issue, and they have a lot more things available to them, I guess, over in the States than at least that I've found that there is in Australia. I can't even remember how long it was since I did my last TMJ video. I think it might almost have been a year. Maybe not. I'm not sure. You've probably seen my background has changed again. I bought a house, and this is it. As you can see, it's got some beautiful arches. Ugh, kind of want to get rid of them, but I don't know. And this like 70s wood panels and stuff, but I don't know. That's beside the point of what this video is about. So, I haven't. So there's a lot of things I haven't been doing that I used to talk about. That I talked about in my last video. I haven't gone to see my TMJ specialist, Professor Gershman, for quite a while. Main reason was it was $200 every time I went and saw him. And although he's obviously extremely knowledgeable in TMJ issues, I found that I wasn't getting much out of the appointments. It would be half an hour, and maybe 2 minutes of that half an hour was useful information to me, and I sort of thought, this is a lot of money, I'm not getting any back on Medicare, so I haven't really been back to him, and I know that I probably should, because we did get the splint made for me that I wear to bed that sits on my lower teeth, and that's supposed to relax the muscles and sort of put my jaw in a position that could potentially help get things back to where they should be. So I've had that for quite a while now, and I did go once, I think, and he sort of readjusted it a little bit to make sure that all my teeth were sitting evenly on the splint when I close my mouth and things like that. So it sits quite well now. You can see where I grind my teeth on it. You can sort of see little indents, but they're quite even on both sides, which is basically shows that it's doing the right thing. It's not, misaligning my bite or anything like that. In terms of whether or not it's working, I don't think it's done anything. So far I only really wear it at night, although I have started to see a new chiropractor in the city, because the one I used to see was near my old house, which is a long way away from where I am now. So I've started seeing one closer to work, and he has an interest in jaw issues. So he suggested when I'm having really bad days that I should wear it to and from work, because it takes me about an hour each way on the train. So I haven't done it for quite a while, but I feel like, I can do that. I can introduce maybe wearing the splint a bit more if I feel like I need to. In terms of how I feel, the cracking and the grinding sort of noises that my jaw makes when I move my mouth and when I eat is a lot more obvious than it used to be, which isn't pleasant at all. There isn't always pain that comes with that, but obviously just the sound is a really disconcerting thing, and you sort of wonder why are those noises happening, what is happening in there. I did start to see another physiotherapist for a little while, about 6 months ago now, or probably a little bit less, and he sort of talked about doing some exercises, sort of things where, you open your mouth and God, I can't even remember what they were, like doing some side-to-side movements with my jaw. They were actually making me quite, well, you know, people say sometimes pain, you get a bit of pain, but you know, pain is good and then it, you know, will feel better. But I just get really worried. Some people say don't, you know, don't move your jaw side to side. Some people say to do it. Some people say don't leave your mouth open for long periods of time, and some people say to do it. So you really worry when you see multiple people that people are telling you all different things, like, no, you shouldn't be doing that, you should be doing this. But one thing that was, I guess, the most probably beneficial thing that's come out of seeing multiple people so far, I think, is that he suggested that I go and see a doctor that would inject Botox into my masseter and temporalis muscles, and that is more for my grinding issue rather than the TMJ, which is a result of the grinding. The TMJ specialist wasn't really that concerned with my grinding because he's more interested obviously in the jaw issue. But for me, I think a lot of the pain stems from the fact that I still grind my teeth quite a lot at night, and I can feel when I've had a really bad night, my whole face will hurt. You know, I feel like really sort of tension, headache, and my neck muscles, and then I always feel really stiff around my shoulders and my upper back as well. So it's really, and the fact that, you know, I've heard that when you're grinding your teeth, you're not getting that really deep sleep. So I feel like, you know, it's something that I'd really like to work on. So I did get, in January, I think it was, or the end of the year last year, I went and got some Botox injected into both sides, and also up into my temporalis as well. I did go back one more time because he did quite a conservative dose for me. I don't think the guy I went to is quite... I think he was a little bit concerned about using too much, because I don't think it's something he's quite that... something he hasn't done that much before, basically. So he did quite a low dose, and I think he might have done 15 units of Botox each side, including temporalis, mostly my masseters. And I feel like there may have been less grinding happening in the following months after that, but I do feel like the dose he gave me was too conservative. From what I've read online, in the States, they tend to give you at least, for someone that grinds as much as I do, they would give you at least 30 units on each side, which is double what he gave me, but he wasn't willing to go more than 15 units. So I've been on the lookout for someone else in Melbourne that will do that for me in a higher dose, and I haven't called them yet, but I did find a dentist in South Melbourne that looks like that they do it, and the fact that they advertise that they do it makes me think that they'll be less worried about the higher doses. So I do need to call them about that, but it was also quite expensive, so it's not something that, you know, that I can just jump at. It could, you know, be, you know, $300 or $400 or $500 potentially. But the good thing is that that can last, you know, 4, 5, 6 months. And if it does work to sort of, you know, stop these muscles working over time, especially at night, it atrophies the muscle, so it kind of weakens the muscle, which sounds bad, but because these muscles are so overworked, it's good for a grinder. And so ideally, if you keep going back, you need less Botox each time. And, you know, the goal at the end is that you won't need to get it anymore, because hopefully you stop grinding. But that could take years, I guess. And there are a lot of people that are against it. But at this point, I'm like, I'm willing to try everything because it's a quality of life thing. Like, it's just pretty much constant pain. Like, at some point every day I will feel bad because of it. And I know there's other things I should try. The chiropractor I've been seeing, he's suggesting that I start looking at anti-inflammatory foods and trying to incorporate those more into my diet and take out things that can cause inflammation, which is obviously a big concern for me in terms of muscle inflammation around my face and my neck and shoulders. So I definitely do need to look into that. And I also need to exercise more, because that's something that can obviously relieve excess anxiety and stress, which can lead to grinding. So it's not really just the TMJ that's an issue for me, it's the grinding. And I know it's not going to fix my jaw because that damage is done, but I feel that it will make me feel better, at least to a degree. Hypnotherapy is something else that I'm interested in trying. I haven't seen much written online of people that have had success in stopping grinding their teeth with hypnotherapy. It's just such a hard thing to know how to, you know, like where do you start kind of thing with something that you don't even know you're doing. You do it in your sleep. I can't consciously stop myself from doing it because, you know, even if I take Valium at night, my boyfriend still hears me grinding my teeth away, sometimes worse. I have found that when I drink coffee, like I have 1 coffee a day sometimes, I think that I do grind my teeth more on the days that I have coffee, so that is something that I do need to look at cutting out of my diet, although sometimes it doesn't matter if I've not had coffee, still you can have a bad night. So it's just, and my chiropractor says, you know, it's just good being aware of all these small things, like keeping track of your day, and you can look back and be like, okay, there's got to be a reason behind why, you know, why you feel this way. Now what can it be? I know some people just are like, you know, it's just the way it is, but I'm like, there's a reason. There's a reason for everything. I know that sounds a little bit spiritual, but that, you know, there's a reason for how you feel, kind of thing. I'm watching Harry Potter, if you can hear that in the background. Yeah, I'm hoping I'll do more videos, like not necessarily about TMJ, but just I've got storm chasing videos and I'll put up from this last month, and I'll try and do these more often if I feel like I have information that could be beneficial to Australians in particular, because I know, like I said, TMJ more recognised elsewhere, maybe not so well known in Australia. And I know a lot of people, they say there's quite a large amount of people do suffer from TMJ issues at some point in their life, but I don't know how many like have the life, well, like basically the lifelong issues. But I feel like it must be pretty big, because grinding your teeth is such a big thing. Everyone has done it in their life, and if you do it as often as I do, or as a lot of people do, that's bound to, you know, screw up your jaw joints eventually. Something else I'm looking at, this is like 13 minutes long, but I'm going to start looking at health insurance, something that I don't have and I know that I should get. I'm almost 30, and I guess I've got to be realistic in looking at the fact that I will potentially need some kind of surgery on my joints, my jaw joints, at some point in the future. Maybe not in a year, maybe not in 5 or 10 years, but I think there's a good chance it will need to happen eventually. So I'm scared because I don't know where to start, but I need to start looking at people or the companies that do cover TMJ, because I know a lot of them do not. And it's kind of, these pre-existing issues just make everything a lot harder with health insurance, I think. So anyway, I think that's it for now. I hope you all are well. I'm sorry I look so amazing. I've just like napped all day basically, which is just such a waste of the weekend. I have so much I want to do. I want to do stuff on the house, talk about my health, and I want to start getting better at, you know, health in terms of food and fitness and things like that. There's just so much, and it's overwhelming. So instead, I just sit here and I nap all day. But I will talk to you all soon. Bye.